This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. New Jeep Gladiators up to $7,000 off now at Cars Plus. Named the best vehicle for adventure in 2024. Get your Jeep Gladiator today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
The race for the Guam legislature apparently isn't over. The Guam Election Commission recounting the ballots for the 15th and 16th spots. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with the report coming up.
Plus, drugs are winning the war on Guam. University students bring public officials together in one room to fix the problem. And it's been a week of Wicked as the show is set to hit the big screen this Friday. A look ahead and details of the NBC special premiering tonight.
Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Who will take the final spot in the 38th Guam legislature? Tonight, the Guam Election Commission recounting the ballots for the 15th and 16th seats as they get ready to certify the results of the general election. Mitsuki Hirayama has more. The Western Resort Guam in Tumon.
Just when we thought the election results were set to be certified, the Guam Election Commission finds themselves doing a recount, but it's only for 2 seats up for grabs in the 38th Guam legislature. The 15th and 16th top votes are being reran through the tabulation machines. Newcomer and longtime broadcaster Sean Gumatautau, a Republican, secured that 15th seat over Democratic incumbent Senator Roy Kanata. On Super Tuesday, Gumatautau secured 11,408 votes, or 3.78%. Kanata got 11,148, or 3.70% of the votes, just a 260 vote difference. Now the GEC is required by law to conduct a recount if the difference is less than 2%. So it's not like either candidate or either party requested the recount. And we spoke with both candidates today ahead of the recount tonight. Take a listen.
I think for me, I'm a little anxious, but I think the important thing to remember is that the Guam Election Commission has a ministerial duty to perform tonight. It's not just whether or not I'll be the 15th member of the Guam legislature, but also to certify the whole of the 2024 Guam election for the general election. So very excited for not just myself, but for the entirety of the party. Up and down the ballot, some great wins on election night, and this is all that culmination in one night.
I'm very much content with the results. I wish whoever was elected, Sean Gumatautau or myself, best on the new journey ahead. If the people and the Lord wills it that I am be elected in the 38th, right, then definitely we'll continue the good work of the people and move our island forward. But if the results are unfortunately not in my favor, then we carry on and we help our island rebuild, and we let the torch be passed to the next elected people.
We're all very optimistic. In the room, Nick, we have members who have decades of experience collectively. And as we are about to enter what will be the 75th anniversary of the Guam legislature, I think the group itself is very much watching the recount, and I think that we're very optimistic in terms of experience. Once all the absentees and any provisional ballots have been cast, at the end of the day, we're very, very excited about what 2025 and beyond will bring for the Guam legislature and for the party as a whole.
It's been obviously one of my biggest efforts as being a legislator in this term that I really want to get Simon Sanchez rebuilt at the earliest convenience, and trying to get our students out of this double session is really much my priority, whether being elected or not. And I want to continue the fight. And, again, I think as lawmakers and policymakers, it's very prudent for us to ensure that the next generation doesn't inherit the same challenges.
I think for both of us, we have to allow this important administrative process to continue and complete to allow some finality to the Guam general election, and the end result will be that big notice to all of our community that the election process is complete, and then the big task is to move ahead, and for the election commission is to look down the road to 2026.
In any case, I am wishing him all the best, his team all the best, and I'm hopeful that the people's voice will be heard this evening, finally, and we can move forward.
Whatever the outcome of the recount, it won't change the majority that the GOP has secured in the 38th. Now, once the recount is complete, the commission will then vote to certify the results of the election. This includes the race for delegate, Congressman James Moylan securing a second term, plus nearly a handful of newcomers in the legislature that voters are looking forward to seeing what they do for the island come January. The certification also includes the race for village mayors and vice mayors, the CCU, and the Education Board. We'll bring you the latest plus the results of the recount as soon as we get them, and we'll have it for you on KUAM.com plus our social media platforms. For now, I'm Mitsuki Hirayama reporting for KUAM News in Election Central.
The war on drugs has been a losing battle for Guam. That's the sentiment of the public safety chair during a University of Guam forum held today. Criminal justice students hosting a panel of local and federal officials to find out what's being done to fix the problem. Each agreeing meth continues to destroy families island-wide.
There's only one way that Public Safety Chair Senator Chris Barnett best describes the war on drugs for Guam.
I'm not so sure that we're waging a war on drugs. It's more like drugs has waged a war on us, and that war has been won by the drugs.
Barnett saying the problem is widespread. Federal and local officials gathered at the University of Guam Wednesday for the Criminal Justice Capstone Forum. Students bringing the panel together to address the impacts drugs have on our island. Guam Police Commander Joe Carbolito.
Families that have people that are addicted to the drugs also impact their own families and their homes. And it also creates homelessness.
Attorney General Doug Moylan says meth is resulting in crime spiking and every level of the community is being impacted.
You cannot just say that meth is affecting us on a criminal level, where meth addicts are committing crimes. You have to understand that meth is destroying the very fabric of our community. The young babies and things, we've gone out with GPD to the boonies and found ranches where the kids are just basically left on their own.
Superior Court Judge Maria Senzon deals with meth users in her courtroom often.
The impact has not changed. The drug, maybe the drug of choice might have changed between the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Every decade has its drug of choice. We are still seeing methamphetamines as the current drug of choice, while fentanyl and other drugs are eking their way into the island community.
HSI Special Agent Robert Ramirez adds,
the community's almost become numb to its usage. We've become indifferent to a person using ice or selling ice. Everybody here might or may know someone that is involved with the drug, but nobody wants to say anything. That's kind of where it begins, especially with law enforcement. We need that help.
Public Defender Stephen Hattori echoes meth is getting cheaper and into the hands of so many and tearing families apart.
Obviously, there have been numerous homicides that are more drug-related now than they've been in the past. So we're not sure what's causing that. I wish Regis was here. I don't know if it's bad meth, but the drug world is, for some reason, becoming more violent. At least that's what we've been seeing in the last couple years.
Meantime, Senator Barnett shared how more kids are being placed into the foster care system because parents would rather use and abuse.
They're seeing kids who aren't showing up to school. When they do, they haven't eaten. When they do show up to school, they tell the school staff that their parents are missing in action, nowhere to be found, that a lot of times you have elementary kids watching the rest of the kids.
A harsh reality he admits is impacting the familiar family values for many on Guam. The students also dive into the history of drugs on island and how it's since evolved. Watch more from the War on Drugs Forum on KUAM.
The man and woman accused in an armed kidnapping are set to have their day in court next week. Co-defendants Noah Cepeda and Asia Lujan appeared before Judge Alberto Tolentino in Superior Court today. Lujan's defense attorney, Mark Smith, telling the court he is moving to have his client's case dismissed based on insufficient evidence, lack of probable cause, and prosecutorial misconduct. Smith says the court-appointed investigator uncovered multiple inconsistencies. The court telling Smith to file the dismissal motion. Trial is still set to begin Monday afternoon. The couple were arrested back in May in connection to a mighty kidnapping, the victim telling KUAM he's a tattoo artist and Cepeda was his client who did not pay for services. Cepeda allegedly telling him he would make payment on the day of the kidnapping. The victim was able to escape. Meantime, Cepeda claimed he was unarmed and allegedly told police he was there to collect a drug debt. Well, in a move that could bring significant financial relief to residents, the Guam Power Authority has proposed a 20.3% decrease in its fuel recovery charge, also known as the Levelized Energy Adjustment Clause, or LEAC. During Wednesday's Consolidated Commission on Utilities meeting, GPA announced plans to lower the LEAC rate from 26 cents to 20 cents per kilowatt hour starting February 1st of next year. For the average household using 1,000 kilowatt hours a month, this would mean a 14.8% cut in their electricity bill, saving approximately $53.19 per month. The reduction is possible due to improved fuel price projections and efforts to stabilize GPA's finances, with its under-recovery balance expected to drop to $4.3 million. General Manager John Beneventi acknowledged the strain of volatile fuel costs and emphasized the agency's commitment to delivering reliable power at the lowest cost. CCU member Simon Sanchez calls this good news that's been promised.
It's been a crazy time. I mean, it's easy to forget that when COVID hit in March of 2020, we didn't raise the LEAC. We took our rainy day fund and fronted $47 million in fuel costs and kept the LEAC low until we finally got over the COVID pandemic. And then we had to recover that money, and that was very painful. It's been a painful couple of years for all of us. But we said as long as oil prices remain stable, then we have an opportunity to finally drop the LEAC. And it looks like, well, now you're recommending next Tuesday we approve about a 20% reduction in the LEAC, about a 15% reduction in the total bill. And that's going to be welcome relief for all of our ratepayers starting February 1st. So good job.
The proposal heads to the Public Utilities Commission next week for final approval. The U.S. Department of Labor is looking to reunite workers with unpaid wages through its online workers owed wages and WOW tool. The department's Honolulu district office has recovered over $200,000 owed to 157 workers in Guam and is urging individuals to claim what's rightfully theirs before the year ends. The WOW tool allows workers to check if they are eligible for back wages by simply entering their current or former employer's name. The tool is easy to use and available in both English and Spanish. If you or someone you know might be owed wages, the department encourages you to act now. Head to the WOW tool and see if your paycheck is waiting for you. President-elect Trump is building his administration at a rapid clip on Monday. He picked celebrity Dr. Oz to serve as administrator who will oversee public health insurance for more than 160 million Americans.
President-elect Donald Trump and Elon Musk watched together as SpaceX launched a test rocket from Brownsville, Texas. Musk, the world's richest man, spent some $200 million to help Trump beat Vice President Kamala Harris in the presidential race. Since then, Musk has been close at hand as the president-elect makes crucial nominations, some controversial, for his emerging cabinet.
You know, he likes this place. I can't get him out of here. He just likes this place. And you know what? I like having him here.
Tuesday, Trump tapped former TV host and heart surgeon Dr. Mehmet Oz as the administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. The president-elect also announced his choice of Wall Street executive Howard Lutnick to lead the Commerce Department. Trump says he is not reconsidering the nomination of Matt Gaetz as Attorney General, despite growing controversy.
Mr. President, are you reconsidering the nomination of Matt Gaetz?
No.
How far are you willing to go to get him confirmed?
Former Congressman Gaetz has been calling senators to make his case and will meet personally with several of them Wednesday, including Louisiana's John Kennedy, who says confirmation won't be easy.
I wouldn't bet my house on it one way or the other.
Alaska Republican Lisa Murkowski said Gaetz should not be quickly pushed through.
Let's take it seriously and let's give it the time.
Gates was under investigation by the House Ethics Committee for allegations of sexual misconduct, including attending sex parties and having sex with a minor. The Florida Republican has denied any wrongdoing.
Late Tuesday, Trump said he will nominate Linda McMahon, the former WWE executive, as Secretary of Education. Up next, another delicious dish in our holiday special, Anchor Your Thanksgiving. Plus, we are gearing up for the Wicked movie premiere and a special you can catch tonight on TV8 and Peacock. You're watching KUAM.
Something is calling, and I can't help it. That's don't belong when there ain't no soul. Watch me as I go. This is my mood when I make a move. Watch me as I go. This is my mood when let's take a break. There's no use. My mood when I make a move. This is my mood when
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
I could feel it, I won't come down. I could see it with all that.
Anchor Your Thanksgiving is brought to you by Anchor, making every Thanksgiving moment special.
It's time to get you ready for those holiday get-togethers. Tonight, we continue our special series, Anchor Your Thanksgiving, and collab with MBI and the brand Anchor.
Hafa day everyone, Kobe here, and I'm going to show you how to anchor your Thanksgiving by making a staple at everyone's get-together. Today we're doing mashed potatoes, but with a roasted garlic twist. Add salt and garlic salt to your liking and use a minimum of 2 tablespoons, but you can add extra if you have a salty palate. You can easily roast garlic by cutting off the top and popping it in an air fryer for 30 minutes. Next, squeeze in a head of roasted garlic. To your garlic and potatoes, add 16 ounces of salted Anchor butter and cube it prior for easier melting. A cup of full cream Anchor milk, or you can use Anchor whipping cream for creamier potatoes. Mash it all up and stir until smooth. And you can even add in some pepper too if you'd like. And for the final touch, add chopped green onions and herbs like parsley for more flavor. And there you go. We anchored your Thanksgiving with roasted garlic mashed potatoes and Anchor products distributed by MBI Guam.
Chef Kobe with the mash bowl there. Well, just a little over a week to go before the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, but we got a sneak peek of some of the new floats that will make their way down 6th Avenue.
I'm just pumped to be able to share so many of our new designs with everybody.
This is Brooklyn native Brendan Kennedy's first year working on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade as Director of Creative Production.
7 new floats.
Yes.
How do you come up with the ideas?
So it all starts with just like us just chitter-chattering.
Really, just talking?
Yeah, just talking. We'll come up with how do we tell a quick story very fast down the street so that everybody can understand it.
Kennedy gave us a tour of the Macy's Studios New Jersey warehouse, where new creations for the parade are a year-round endeavor.
What we try to do is tell a cohesive narrative with all these fun pop culture moments down the street.
Several new floating wonders, as the designers call them, will make their debut this year. You can get a little wild with a salute to the Bronx Zoo and the wondrous world of wildlife. Hungry? Do some carb loading with the pasta night by famous Harlem eatery Rails Homemade. But make sure to save room for dessert with Candy Cosmos. And then maybe work it all off with a little bit of bowling.
And it's not just the floats that they work on here, they also work on the balloons. And here's what you'll see new this year. You got Minnie Mouse, a classic, but she's going to be new this year. You got Gabby over here with her little friend, Elf on the Shelf, riding this animal here. And while the balloons look like one big piece during the parade, look closer. You can see it's almost like a puzzle. All these different panels equal the creation that you will see during the big march.
This year will be the 98th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Millions will watch in person and, of course, on screens across the country.
I grew up in New Jersey, but I always watched it on television, and now to actually be a part of it on the street is something that I feel so incredibly privileged to be a part of.
Also new this year, the Addams Family serves up Wednesday's feast. Poor Pugsley looks like side salad. And while you probably know Dora the Explorer, this will be the first time you'll see her fantastical rainforest.
To be able to bring some of that New York excitement to the streets is a really big deal.
New attractions joining a cherished hometown tradition we get to share with the world.
You can watch the countdown to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on Thursday, November 28th at 7 p.m. on KUAM TV 8. And wake up to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade at 7:30 a.m. on Friday, November 29th, that's Black Friday, also on TV 8 and Peacock. The film version of the legendary Broadway hit Wicked opens in theaters this Friday. Wicked is a stage hit that's captivated millions, and now the film version of the musical is hitting theaters. On November 22nd at 7 p.m., we'll be at the Micronesia Mall Megaplex for an extra special screening. That's going to be an all-out party. We'll be in costume and belting out the lyrics from the moment we enter the lobby, all while the theater goes dark and until the final closing credits. And best of all, we'll be joined by a bunch of our friends just as stoked as to watch it together. Several performing arts student groups and dance teams entered our promotion to catch the local premiere and be part of the first Americans to see the show.
Congratulations, Gate VPA Theater, Guam
And with
National
that, we're
finalists,
proud to
musical
announce
theater
for the
competition.
first time exactly who will be the movie house in the movie house enjoying Wicked with us. These groups successfully solved our Instagram anagrams challenge and that we ran and scored themselves group passes to this Friday's premiere. First off, we'll be saving some popcorn for the Gate Visual Performing Arts Theater troupe that are national finalists in the musical theater competitions of America. And they'll be joined by our new friends from the Talent Box Rookies Travel Group, who won tickets too. Just remember, Mitsuki and I call shotgun on the seats right in front of the railing and save the Raisinets for us. NBC's got an hour-long look at the making of the spectacle coming up tonight at 9 p.m. Mark Barger gives us a preview of Defying Gravity, The Curtain Rises on Wicked.
Welcome to the spectacular Emerald City set from our brand new movie, Wicked.
It's the place Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande called home for more than a year.
It's wonderful to be able to touch the space
and create this world in a way we've never seen it before.
But giving Oz a 21st century look meant throwback movie making, largely trading the digital for the tangible.
If you want to be inside that world, you got to build it.
Massive construction across 17 sound stages and 4 backlots in England created sets that left cast members spellbound.
The scale is kind of a little hard to really wrap my mind around.
This still does not feel like real life to me.
Just part of the unique experience showcased in the Defying Gravity special.
We even filmed footage ourselves.
The wizard will see you now.
To share our most personal Wicked memories.
Small moments that kept the production process grounded.
Come with me. What? To meet the wizard.
Even with its epic scope.
It was just so intimate, and it felt scrappy even though it was this huge film.
Huge also describes Wicked's box office potential.
I'm not afraid.
Given its 20 years of worldwide success on stage.
I think the thing that was most important to us all along was finding that balance between honoring the source material while also, in a way, forgetting it and bringing our own new truths to it.
Allowing Wicked a new chance to fly. Mark Barger, NBC News.
Wicked comes from Universal Studios, which is a sister company of NBC. Defying Gravity, The Curtain Rises on Wicked airs tonight at 9 p.m. on KUAM TV 8 and on Peacock. Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view of the Channel 10 area.
Need a place that has everything you're looking for without the extra stops? Kmart is the ultimate destination for saving time and money with unbeatable deals, all in one place. From groceries to personal and home essentials to the latest trends, everything you need is right here. For yourself, your family, your home. Find it all at Kmart, your destination for deals, where convenience, variety, and value come together. Make Kmart your one-stop shop today. Follow us on our social media and check out our website for weekly deals. Kmart, your destination for deals.
From the #1 station, this is a story about love.
I was kind of born and raised in the restaurant business, and she was kind of too, because we were always hanging out, and I really didn't want to do it, so I would do anything and everything when I turned 18 not to be in the restaurant business. Eventually, somehow, I got trapped, and best decision I ever made.
My passion has always been cooking. I'd always end up in my friend's kitchen with their mom or their grandma and kind of look what they're doing and can I help? When we first started the food truck, we didn't know if it was gonna work. Literally every day, both of us were on our phones, texting every single friend we had.
Finally, I was like, man, we need to get other people to come to our hot dogs. And so we started a lot of social media, and that gave us a little bit more of a following. Mainly, I feel like the trust between the two of us had to be there. It was super solid. So it's kind of like, okay, we're gonna do this, and we kind of did it.
Keep the smile on your face, the moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me, you can count on me for life.
life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
When you first tasted our spicy chicken McNuggets, lightly breaded in tempura and made with aged cayenne, maybe that cayenne blend made you cry a little. Well, now you can happy cry on your way to McDonald's, because they're back. The spicy chicken McNuggets, they're back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Half a day, everybody. You know what is awesome? Manila, man, I was baptized there. They've got the Doni Festival. And you know what's also happening in the Central Village? The Christmas Festival. Manila is going extra for this. They are bringing the Yuletide spirit, and they are inviting you on December 15th to swing by. Come on by, because from noon to 9 p.m., the Manila Night Market grounds, we have a full day of festive fun. You know what's also happening on December 15th? UOG graduates, including our own Darby Samala. We're super proud of her. All right, fall in love with local culture. Nothing that you can't love about Chamorro culture here and Guam culture. It's the Fall Farmers Market, organized by our friends at FAM Farm. Shout out to you, Dar. Great job. The market takes place on Saturday the 23rd from 1 to 7 at Fort Apugan over in Agana Heights. There is lots to do, and we are celebrating the rich practice of agriculture here on the island. And what better way than to get into the Yuletide spirit than to laugh? And Mike Epps is early Santa Claus when it comes to the yuck stuff, because this dude is super funny, one of my favorite comedians, and he will be on Guam December 7th, one show only. So make sure to get your tickets. Hit up guamcomedy.com. Be there, and you are gonna laugh nonstop, I guarantee.
Now to your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
Happy birthday number 18 to Christian James Toigui. Happy birthday, Chris. Love you always. Say mom, dad, brothers, and sissy. Scarlett Joe sending all our love your way, and may you always stay full of life. We love you from Tano Bear, Penelope, Daddy J, and mom. Birthday number 14 wishes going out to Ken Gabriel Borja. We love you. Say your Camacho, Regis, and Borja families. And Mallory Robles turning 8 years old today. Happy birthday from your Papa Pete, Grandma Grace, Uncle Ray, Big Nana, and the rest of the Guam Anderson Dimion families. We love you very much. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday to all of you celebrating out there today. That's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Delgado. Have a safe evening.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Hafa and welcome to this week's episode of The Hub. The campaign trail and the local race to watch kept candidates from both sides very busy this year, several vying to be Guam's non-voting delegate in Washington, D.C. Only incumbent James Moylan and challenger Ginger Cruz made it to the final round in the November general election. After months of campaigning and debating one another, it all came down to one night and one candidate being the victor. Cruz not waiting for the final count before conceding to the Republican incumbent.
So I was just calling to congratulate you. Very good. Well, I just wanted to give you the best, wish you and Sandy all the best, and encourage you to, if you need any feedback from me, I'm always here if you want to call or anything like that. And we look forward to you doing the work of the people of Guam and Washington, D.C.
I shall. Thank you very much. You have a blessed day, and let's move on. Let's move forward for the island of Guam and the United States of America. Adjust. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We got the Republican majority in the Senate. Yeah, we got it all the way. We got my friends behind me. I have my supporters here. We have our new senators as well. Yeah! Fantastic day. I want to thank the people of Guam coming out to vote and supporting us. And we had some great ideas, and we want to move forward. Right? The race is basically, when we need the official count for Guam Election Commission, but basically we know what we need to do. We have excellent folks right around us. We have excellent supporters. Now let's go. Move forward.
Congressman James Moylan taking the win and heading into his second term as Guam's delegate. He wasted no time getting back to the nation's capital. That's where we caught up with him post-election.
Congressman Moylan, first off, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. We weren't talking not too long ago, but now I'm back in D.C. because of the people's choice. So I appreciate your interviews with us.
Of course. So let's get right to it. How do you feel that you get to serve a second term now in representing the island in D.C.?
Of course, that's really exciting, and that's what we wanted. My team's ready to do this. We have our plan of action, and I'm actually back in D.C. I just got off the plane here, took the metro back to my office, and looking at some stuff I got to get done tonight. Plus, we're going to get into the appropriation measures where we have a lot of great things in line for Guam to ensure that none of those amendments fall off. So we got an important mission this month all to get done before Thanksgiving, and also to meet the new members of Congress too.
Certainly a lot to be thankful for now that you get to start your second term, but let's reflect a bit first on your freshman year as our congressman. What would you like to remind the people of some of your biggest accomplishments that you and the team were able to carry out?
Well, there's several. Of course, we help the police department with their needs and fire department with their needs as well. The government of Guam with $5.2 billion also, which is why we see a surplus in the revenues, unappropriated funds going to the general fund. That's all through tax-generated money coming in through the revenues that the buildup has done for us. We're watching that buildup also closely. We understand this has to be done with the one island report approach, and has to be done right, and also protecting our culture and our traditions too. So with that in mind, I'm looking forward to even more stuff that we need to get done. We got these committees down and going to fight to keep our same committees. I'm sure that's pretty good to go with the natural resources, with foreign affairs being the most recent one, and of course with the House Armed Services too. All key committees for the island of Guam that I'm proud to represent and have that voice for us.
Yeah, if I may, if you don't mind just going through the committees with me, let's start first with the House Armed Services Committee. How's being a part of that been very key and essential to the people?
Well, first we gave them the education of where Guam is at. We were able to have a congressional delegation come on out with the chairman. That's one of the first things I did. And the 118th is to invite them to Guam. Chairman Mike Rogers accepted that, and we brought a delegation on out. And of course, we stopped in the whole Indo-PACOM area. But they realized the distance, they realized what we have going. And that was shortly after Typhoon Mawar, which we were really helpful in getting more FEMA money into Guam too for the rebuilding of the island. So with House Armed Services now, and then we also have our missile defense, we were able to increase the funding by $180 million on this budget because the president only gave $100 million, but we increased it significantly in the House because we understand the threat from the Communist Chinese Party. And we're willing to, the nation wants to defend the homeland, the nation wants to protect the residents, 170 residents, 1,000 residents of Guam, protect our people and protect our lives. So that's very important, and that's why it's important to have stability in Congress, to grow your friendship, to bring them on out, have them educated, to help them understand. You just don't do that in 1 year or 2 years, but it grows. It grows with building that trust with your colleagues.
More from our discussion with Congressman Moylan in a moment. You're watching The Hub.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort Guam.
I could feel it, I won't come down. I could see it with all that.
Want a real taste of New York? The classic New York-style pizza offers a big, bold taste that's a Guam favorite. It's handmade with 16 inches of foldable crust, a sweet marinara sauce, and your favorite topping. And at 30% larger than our large, classic New York pizza is only $12.99 for carryout. Bring together your family and friends for a classic New York pizza party. Each pizza is just $12.99 for carryout. Classic New York-style pizza, so close you can taste it. Only at your island Pizza Hut.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Welcome back to the Hub. From guarding our region from enemy forces to getting the funding and resources needed for the people, the incumbent already back to work, speaking with KUAM as the island was in the tail end of Condition of Readiness 1 during Manyi. Let's get back to our interview with Congressman James Moylet to hear what he has planned for his second term in office.
So that's that networking that allowed you to get some of those colleagues to support you in your campaign, is what I was seeing. And so what's next?
There's a lot, of course. We do have our fighting for the health corps resources on Guam, the Medicare, Medicaid rate rebasing. We got to really focus on getting the hospital the amount of money they need, and that's based upon what our customers are paying. And the rebasing will be very helpful in doing that. Securing more investments for the island of Guam, investing in our power infrastructure too, with cooperation with the military buildup and the missile defense. The Power Authority, I believe their number one customers are the military. And so this would help us harden our infrastructure for the power. And then, of course, most concerning or something for me is, which I am as well, a veteran, and that's we're moving forward. We got good ground in getting and advocating for regional office, which it takes a step at a time, and completing a study for the regional medical center too. That's our long-term goals, but we're going to keep this in front in the 119th Congress. So, but in the meantime, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be out there on the floor and working hard for those appropriation measures to make sure things get through. We even have votes tonight as well. So I came at the right time, and I haven't figured out what time that is in Guam because my watch doesn't even work. It just doesn't work because I'm in too many time zones at once. But I'm excited to be here, Nick.
Thank you for that. And with regard to the military buildup, there's so much moving parts that have been ongoing for the past couple of decades, as you're well aware, even things that you were involved in when you were in the legislature. What are some of your priorities with regard to the buildup?
Well, I think what I'm looking at right now is we have that testing coming up for the missile defense system in December. And this is critical to show our Congress members that we can have this practice round over open waters that can show how well we're doing. But this we had to expedite this process. The quicker we are at doing this, the more secure we are against our aggressor. So keeping that money coming on in is an important part to make this happen. So missile defense and of course, the buildup is still going along. We also had to help a lot with our Port Authority to ensure that they get their cranes necessary, because we know that's at a stable or it's at a dangerous situation right now of failing, and we can't let that, because that will stop everything. That will stop our buildup. That would drastically increase our cost of goods. It will be very difficult to manage. That's why we had to make that a priority too. In addition, we did get additional funding, $300 million for the glass breakwater, which is one storm away of failing. And I'm so glad that at least we're still praying that this typhoon that's coming to the island is just going to kind of blow over us and not allow anything to happen drastically. But the glass breakwater is also important. We had the fundings there, and the military is going to start the process and start strengthening that so it doesn't get destroyed too. So all critical things, especially with our port and funding, additional funding to continue so we can get the buildup going and we get the supplies we need for the people of Guam.
Moylan's victory comes as a red wave moves across the nation and even right here at home. I'll look at the GOP taking the majority alongside a Republican president. Keep it here. You're watching The Hub.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Taco Bell Cantina chicken burrito?
What do you need that for?
Chicken doesn't have to be flavorless, I guess.
Here we go. It can be tender and slow roasted.
Slow roasted? That sounds lazy to me.
The holidays can be a tough time for the modern chicken eater.
A burrito on what could be Gam Gam's last holiday?
What'd she say?
But don't worry, there's hope for every family. Cantina chicken is winning hearts and mouths across the country. Because a future this delicious can't be ignored for long.
Put it down.
Forgive me, Gam Gam.
A new era of chicken is here to stay.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Welcome back to The Hub. Guam Delegate James Moylan is part of the majority in the House of Representatives in D.C. Republican leaders in the House are laying out their agenda for the next Congress. House GOP leaders held a press conference on the steps of the chamber. In the briefing, they claimed Republican control of the House. In the remarks, Republican leaders say they will work with the Senate to advance President-elect Trump's vision for America. North Carolina Representative Richard Hudson.
You broke it. Now Republicans have a mandate to fix it. If we deliver on the promises we campaigned on, I'm confident the American people will reward our success. I'm ready to get back to work. Let's get it done.
Minnesota Representative Tom Emmer.
1 week ago today, Americans elected a Republican president, a Republican Senate, and a Republican House with a mandate for change, a mandate for more affordable cost of living, secure borders, less crime in our streets, and a restoration of American dominance on the world stage, a mandate to put America first and make this country great again.
Louisiana Representative Steve Scalise.
And the other side is sitting around trying to blame themselves and assign blame for what the reason was for their failure, but they still will not admit the real problem why Democrats were rejected at the polls last week. It was because they had no answers. They had no message to those families who were struggling. They wanted to double down on the same failed far-left policies that they've been ramming through Washington for the last 4 years.
And Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson.
And we got extraordinary candidates. We flipped blue seats to red as we planned, and we kept this majority. We expect that the majority will be larger than last time. We still have a number of races outstanding, but we're very optimistic about those. And we are looking forward to governing in unified government beginning in January. It's true that on Tuesday, voters rejected what they really felt was the misery of the last 4 years. We're moving on and we're turning the page, and this is something that the American people desperately need and deserve. Republicans in the House and Senate have a mandate. It's true. It was a decisive win across the nation. The American people want us to implement and deliver that America First agenda. And we have to do that while we have that energy and that excitement beginning on the very first day of the Congress in the new year.
The GOP is preparing for the next Congress next year when they will control both the House and the Senate. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson has been selected to be the Republican nominee for the speakership role when the new Congress convenes in January. Johnson's nomination was posted on X by the House Republican Conference. House Republicans chose Johnson to be their speaker nominee by a unanimous voice vote with no objections. That's according to a source in the room. This means there was no secret ballot needed. Johnson will still need 218 votes on the House floor in January to actually secure the speakership. President-elect Trump huddled with House Republicans ahead of their leadership elections, and he threw his support behind Johnson. Majority Leader Steve Scalise and Majority Whip Tom Emmer both ran unopposed for re-election to their post. President-elect Trump's selection of Congressman Matt Gaetz for Attorney General immediately drawing strong reaction from both Republicans and Democrats. Garrett Hickey is at the Capitol.
Tonight, President-elect Trump's selection of Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz for Attorney General already sending shockwaves through Washington. Trump today describing one of his strongest defenders as a, quote, deeply gifted and tenacious attorney who will end the partisan weaponization of our justice system. Many Republicans saying after Trump's decisive victory, he's entitled to the team he wants.
I like Matt a lot. I know him very well, and I'm confident that if the Senate confirms him, he would do a good job.
But he's also facing bipartisan backlash from both Democrats.
This feels like a red alert moment for democracy.
I would describe it as God-tier level trolling.
And Republicans.
Mr. Gaetz breaks things to breaks things, and then once he breaks it even more. And that is somebody who should not be the Attorney General of the United States.
Gaetz has built a reputation for fiercely defending the president-elect and repeatedly going after DOJ officials, including FBI Director Christopher Wray.
You preside over the FBI that has the lowest level of trust in the FBI's history.
Tonight, Gaetz texting me, quote, I'm honored by the president's trust and confidence. Trump has repeatedly attacked the legal battles he faced as political prosecutions and has had rocky relationships with his previous attorney generals, including Jeff Sessions.
And I put an attorney general that never took control of the Justice Department, Jeff Sessions.
In Gaetz, he would have an AG that, critics say, would be more willing to do his bidding. Gaetz would have to be confirmed by a Republican Senate. And one likely concern, the DOJ and FBI investigated Gaetz for possible sex trafficking, but the case ended in 2023 without any charges filed. Gaetz denied any wrongdoing. Tonight, many Republicans backing Trump's choice.
Matt Gaetz and I, there's no question that we've had our differences. They've been very public about it. I completely trust President Trump's decision-making on this one.
What do you think the selection of Matt Gaetz says about what Donald Trump thinks about the Department of Justice?
Well, I think he thinks about the Department of Justice what a lot of us think. It's gone rogue. It's gone even corrupt in many respects.
Keep it here. Our interview with Congressman Moylan continues to wrap up this episode of The Hub.
The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam. The Hub is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Business and Leo Palace Resort, Guam.
Welcome back to The Hub. In just a little over a month, Congressman Moylan will continue representing Guam in the nation's capital under a new administration. So we asked him what lessons he's learned from to bring into the new year. In your first term, were you able to observe or recognize some of the challenges, seeing as Guam is so far removed from the rest of the states and the nations, even some of the other territories that are even closer? Have you been able to identify some of those challenges, and how do you plan to address, if any?
Well, yeah. Now that I'm a sophomore, uh, I have more friends in there, so that we skipped over the first part, right? We're not new kids in the block, and it looks like the Republican will maintain the majority in the House. We know we're still waiting on a few seats in California, but we're pretty confident that we got this. And now that we have the Senate and we also have the White House, this is the way we can make things even go quicker and focus on what we need to for the island. Especially, I'm happy for Guam, where we had the Senate after 16 years. Now we have the majority in Senate too. So all good things. I'm looking forward to working together with these folks. But these relationships must continue on. I'm going to meet new people as well and make sure to invite them to Guam too, depending on their committees and how we can work better together. So, you know, now that I get the ropes down, I'm not the smartest kid on the block, but I'm learning pretty quickly and we're moving things a lot faster.
We learn as we go. And so I'm glad that you mentioned, I mean, it was ultimately a red wave, both locally and nationally, and you're part of it. How do you plan to work best with the Trump administration?
Oh, well, I'm a Republican, so I'm happy that Trump wins. You know, but we can also, of course, I can work both sides of the aisle. But some of my friends were nominated for key positions in the Trump administration, so that's a telephone call I can make for their assistance as well. So those are good things that I see, and I don't really see any difficulty. And I think we'll be focusing on the buildup and doing the right things for the island, since we're the most western U.S. part here, and our threat now is in the Indo-Pacific area, which we must protect. And it's good that we had the CFA agreement, or the new COFA agreement, done, where we have our allies are even more strong with us, and their support from the nation is even better. So we got a lot more friends than our adversaries do. So I feel confident with the Trump administration and the Senate and the House, which should be announced here in a day or so, that we can have a lot more coming our way for the island of Guam.
And already in his first week in being president-elect, Trump had already mentioned some of the things that he's wanting to prioritize as soon as he's sworn back into the White House, including things like deportation, and addressing issues of women's health care, such as abortion. I wanted to just kind of get your take on what you're hearing so far and some of the things that he's pushed out.
Yeah, well, that's the administration's wishes, and I haven't seen much coming out of the House yet at this point. But I know it's for us on Guam, healthcare issue is really strong, and those are the things I want to help the hospital with, getting their Medicare, Medicaid rebasing done, getting in more additional nurses, hopefully from the H-2Bs from the Philippines, just to help subsidize them, looking at Medicare portability for the Philippines as well, while we strengthen our hospitals and get what we need in supplies. What do we do in the meantime? So I'm behind anything that supports better health for the people of Guam, and that is the way the administration is going. That's good, and I'm proud of that.
Okay, and we'll wait to see how things go come the new year. What would you like to say to your supporters who allowed you to get another shot at representing the island?
Well, I'd like to say to the island of Guam and those that came out to vote, your voice was heard. The vote is done. And now, as your member of Congress, I work together with everybody across the floor. And in D.C., we're working really hard too. I have a great team here that is going to continue on with me and moving this forward with the more education that we have, a greater understanding, more friends that we have as well, to include our new member from CNMI, who won that replaced Kalili, my good friend Kalili. I gave her a call and said, hey, when you're here, I'm going to take you around, I'm going to introduce you, and we're going to make things happen. So we should look at a one Mariana's picture. And that's the way it should be. And glad she's Republican too. You know, those are all good things as well. So I'm excited. We got a new year coming on up. This storm will pass us and we'll move on just like everything else. And we can celebrate the new year going into a lot of great things to look forward to. So thank you, the island of Guam. Thank you, people of Guam. Thank you for our friends in the military, and thank you for the residents of Guam. God bless you all.
Thank you to Congressman Moreland for the time to speak with us and speak with you, the viewers. We appreciate you all watching and joining us for this episode of The Hub. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
This